Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestle Slam. We're joined by the one and only Angelina Love, the most iconic superstar of our time. I always say that. We have to say it. Now, first of all, Ring of Honor, one of the biggest organizations in the world. We seen you make that awesome debut 2019. The world went a bit mad afterwards. How are you keeping, and how's things via Ring of Honor? Things are really looking up moving forward.
Yeah, it's cool because I don't know if a lot of people know, but I kind of started Ring of Honor was the first major promotion I did anything for. So, and that was back in 2004. So being back, in Ring of Honor 15 years later was a very full circle thing. And then we got to debut at Madison Square Garden, which is just the Mecca. It's a bucket list for every pro wrestler. So that was really fun. We got about 11 months out of it until everything happened. So our last show was in St. Louis, February 29th, 2020. And then we were going to do the anniversary stuff in Vegas in March, but literally 2 hours before I was leaving to go to the airport, I got email, phone call, text all at the same time saying stay home, we're canceling it. Half the roster's there, half the roster hasn't got here yet. We're canceling everything, blah, blah, blah. So I was well, I'm glad I didn't, glad I didn't fly out.
It was mad. And tell us, obviously, Madison Square Garden. I happened to be out in New York when it all happened. It was history in the making, a massive supercard. What was it like via crowd reaction? Because we've seen the crowd reaction. It was huge. History making, especially for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, so, having, Ring of Honor selling out Madison Square Garden was amazing. And, for us being able to come out, we knew about 3 weeks before that we were going to be debuting there. So for me and Velvet, it was the hardest secret to keep. We just wanted, plus we did WrestleCon for 2 days leading up to that. So we just have all these fans talking to us and we're oh my God, we had to be so careful that we didn't say anything.
I actually asked you, so it was at WrestleCon. And you might remember the Irish lad. There was 2 Irish lads. I was one of the guys. Said, are you going to be there? And you kind of looked at me and you just gave me the eyes. And I was like,
Well, Jay Lethal's one of our best friends, and we saw him there. We got a picture with him. We were Briz, what's up? Whatever. And then 2 hours later, we're backstage at Madison Square Garden, hi, buddy. And he was what? We're we can't say anything.
And it's been a marvelous career for you to date. You know what I mean? The best is always to come. But you've been in this game a long time. I think it was 2000. So it's a very long time. How much has it changed for you? Because look, you know what I mean? We're all aging, but we all look so good. I think yourself, Liz and Jer, myself, we haven't aged a bit. But look, it's been a crazy 15, 16 years more. How has it changed for you?
Well, when I first started, there actually just wasn't a lot of females involved in wrestling. I started in Toronto, Canada, and it was a few weeks before I turned 19, I did my first show. And the only females that were doing anything, Tracy and Gail, I think were working for Ron Hutchinson's independent promotion. But if you worked for Ron, you only worked for Ron. So I did not work for Ron because I wanted to do a lot of stuff. So the only things that I saw, the only females in locker rooms were strippers or guys' girlfriends.
Yeah.
It wasn't anybody who was in love with wrestling or trying to be a wrestler or what. So when I got there and I'm 18 years old, I'm yeah, I want to be a wrestler. Everyone was real skeptical of me because they hadn't been seeing that, but I think everybody learned pretty quick. And I still hear from people one of my buddies, from Montreal, he used to drive from Montreal. It's 5 hours to Toronto, and he would do some Toronto indies. And he probably wrote me on Facebook not even 2 weeks ago. And we haven't spoken in, 15 or more years at least. Just oh, I'm so proud of you and everything you've accomplished. I keep hearing from people that, I haven't seen in over a decade or more, that just kind of hit me up that, I had seen when I first started. So that means a lot.
Yeah. It's probably fair to say, Angelina, that the hunger is still there for you. Obviously, it's something that never dies. Obviously, we like to take breaks and, I suppose, careers and stuff, but that hunger still burns deep inside you.
I wanted to be a million things growing up, but the one thing I never grew out of wanting to be was a wrestler. So I don't know, when I first started training, I trained for 3 weeks and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't bump properly. I couldn't do an arm drag. I was just, and I'm a Virgo. So if I can't get things like that, I'm just get so frustrated. And so I was maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to be a wrestler. I quit. And then I probably didn't train again for like another 6 months, but like I really missed it, like really wanted to. And then once I went back to training, then it was just like everything just started click and I could just do stuff. And then, you know, your confidence builds up and everything just kind of flows from there. So I almost like, I've been doing this for more than half my life. So I kind of don't even know what my life would be without it, you know, if that makes sense. So, obviously, like I was forced to take some time off when TNA screwed up my visa back at the end of 2009. And then, when I quit in 2012, but then like that whole time, that whole like year and a half I took off, I still had a lot of bookings. I went up to Canada, I filmed a TV show. I made a lot more money doing that than I did wrestling. And I was like, why do I wrestle? But then I ended up coming back in Velvet and I started the Beautiful People again in 2014. And then I was pregnant in 2015, 2016. So, my breaks weren't like, they weren't like that crazy, you know, like I've always been busy, but like now, you know, like I turned 40 in 2.5 months. So I mean, I don't want to be doing this when I'm like 50, you know, like physically competing. I still feel fine. Like my body's great. I can still definitely go. But you know, I do want to transition to like some kind of a backstage role, whether it be producer, agent, helping people with promos, creative, whatever, because I've spent over 10 years doing TV wrestling too, you know what I mean? So I know I worked for WWE, I worked for TNA, and I worked for Ring of Honor. Like I know a lot of like that behind the scenes stuff, and I feel like I have a lot to be able to give the future generation of wrestling, you know, when I decide that I'm physically done. But nobody knows but you. Like nobody can tell you like you're done. Like you know in you when you feel done and when you want to be done and stay done. Because I don't want to be that person where I'm like, I'm retired and then I come back 7 times. It's like I don't want to be that person. So when I'm done, I want to be done, and I don't feel anywhere near done yet. So
agree. And like you have worked hard, you've earned your props. So it's fair to say when you decide you want to step away from in-ring action and do backstage stuff, surely everyone's going to reach out to you. Everyone, because
I feel like I'm still going to want to be like, my body will let me know like we don't want to be doing this bumping anymore, but I still want to be involved in the business, and I could still do that for another 20 years easily, you know what I mean, but in like a different role than physically competing.
Love it. Jur, I'm going to pass you on to, I've got more questions, but Jur, I know you're hungry for questions, so I'm going to pass you to you.
Yeah, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Yourself and Velvet started a podcast recently. I just wanted to get your thoughts on, you know, how did that come about? Was through Vince Russo that he started?
Yeah, Vince hit us up because like, you know, we have such a great relationship with Vince. We always have. I didn't even know Vince was doing all the things that he was doing, and I follow him on socials, so I don't even know how I didn't see it. But we should have a podcast, you know, like just with how long we've been friends and just who we are as people and all the stuff that we've seen and gone through and experienced in our time in wrestling. Yeah, he came to us with that idea, and we were like, oh yeah, that's great. But our only hang up was we're not like technologically like at all. So we were like, that whole editing thing and like the editing thing really scared us. And Vince was like, oh, don't worry. Like I have people that do this. They'll make the thumbnails for you. They'll post it. They'll edit it. They'll make trailers. And we were like, I mean, sold. Like we just the editing and the amount of time it takes to do that stuff was the only thing that was kind of keeping us like away from it. But once we were told like we have people to do that, just talk, we were like, okay, easy.
Do you think that'll be a long-term thing? Would you do that permanently, or maybe once a week or once a month?
Well, we do it once a week.
Yeah.
So we film every Monday, and then it drops every Sunday. And then sometimes, like if I have to go to Ring of Honor and I'm going to be filming all day on a Monday, I'll let Velvet know, like, hey, in 2 weeks I got to go to work. Like let's get one ahead. And then like she's doing NWA today. So today's Monday. We would normally film today, but she's in NWA. So last week when we filmed, we did one on Monday and like one on Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. So we're always on it. We're having fun. So just like with wrestling, like whenever we're like, nah, this fire's kind of burned out, then, you know, we'll just figure that out and see.
Perfect. And she did some commentary with NWA at the weekend. She did her first on commentary desk? Would you think it ever?
Well, it was her first pay-per-view, but she's
Pay-per-view,
been doing commentary with NWA, I think at least for the last couple months. I think she's done one set of tapings with them, if not two so far, because she's retired physically. Yeah. So, I mean, once again, doing something like commentary and, you know, backstage interviewing or whatever, that's just another way to like stay in the business without, you know, taking a million bumps.
Could you see yourself doing commentary in the future as opposed to?
Yeah, I'm a really good talker.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be fun, but commentary is really intricate. Like people don't understand, like it's very easy to just get in your own conversation with the other people that you're on commentary with, but like you have to have that camaraderie with who you're commentating with, but you also have to like remember to commentate the match, and you have to know about the people that are in the ring and, you know, their moves and what they're called and their history, and then you have somebody talking in your ear too. So there's a lot of components that people don't understand. But yeah, like anything like that, pretty much anything like backstage, I think would be good to transition to at some point, just because I've seen and done it all, and I think I would have a lot to be able to give and to help with in the future.
Perfect. And lastly, I know you've been involved in an all-female promotion in the past. Do you think there's room for another one in the future? Do you think that'll happen?
I mean, maybe. I don't feel like it's something necessary, as long as the females in whatever company that they're in are being utilized properly. Like, we don't have to have like an all-female promotion. But is that possible? Of course it is. It's happened before, so yeah.
So I will fly through some questions. Well, quick fire-ish. We won't be too fast. Questions, just and give you an option of two answers to take one from. So let's fly through it. You ready?
Sure.
Fabulous. So coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cool. Sun or snow?
Sun. Oh God, sun. All the sun. I could never see another snowflake in my life and be totally fine with that.
I love it. Beef or chicken?
Ooh, chicken. Don't eat red meat.
Oh, cool. Volleyball or track and field?
Oh, I did both as a kid. Volleyball.
Cheesecake or salt and vinegar chips?
I love both of those so much. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh, we'll just go with cheesecake because it's more decadent.
There you go. Leather or denim?
Ooh, I don't like either. Denim.
Yeah. Keep wrestling or a multi-million-dollar movie deal?
Probably multi-million-dollar movie deal.
Favorite finisher to deliver: lights out or Botox injection?
Botox.
Fabulous. And least favorite finisher to get: Velvet Skies in your face or Gail Kim's happy ending?
What's the happy ending? I know Eat Defeat. What's the happy ending?
Isn't that the one where it's like the version of the DDT? We'll go with Velvet Skies though. Because she's your friend.
Oh, yeah. We hated working against each other, so I'll say the Velvets.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. And let me see. McDonald's or Burger King? Chicken variety?
Neither.
Well, yeah. Do you have a fast food favorite out of interest? Or do you
I don't. I mean, like, I can do a little Panera. Like, but Panera's not necessarily fast food, but I really don't like fast food. Panera. My son likes Chick-fil-A. Like, their chicken's okay. But yeah, McDonald's and Burger King are major no.
Yeah, there's no harm in that. Talking about behind the scenes, a training role or working creative?
Training.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just aside from the quiz, stay away from commentary. You've got so much more to offer. You have just so much more.
Thank you.
You have so much more to offer than just be on
commentary.
See,
I am like, what's really weird is that I used to be scared to death to talk, period. Like, so introverted as a child, tried to be sick every year on speech day because like I didn't want to stand up with the cue cards and talk for 3 minutes in front of my class. Like, my throat would close up. my face would get really red. Like, I don't know, but wrestling forced me out of that. And now talking is like one of my strongest roles. So I feel like just the fact I have a great story in being so deathly scared of public speaking and being like, I'll speak in front of 10,000 people, like in my sleep, that's no big deal. So I feel like anybody who has a problem, like figuring out their character, if it resonates with them, how to talk, how to put emphasis on certain words to get a point across, just speaking with confidence and stuff like that. Even if that's just the one thing that I help with, I would love to do that.
I think because you've been through it, it will help to humanize it, you know, and people will know that it's normal to happen. Brilliant. Yeah. Fantasy booking. Would you like to face Deonna Purrazzo or Thunder Rosa?
Interesting.
Oh, that's hard to choose. Thunder Rosa.
Cool. And favorite opponent, but it can't be Velvet Sky. You've already given a friend one for her now, so yeah.
Yeah, well, we hated working against each other. She's not my favorite opponent at all. She's my favorite. She's like my favorite partner, not opponent. See, that's tough. Gail and I always had really good chemistry because like we trained together too. So being able to do that on like a worldwide stage was really easy and natural for us. But I really liked working Kong too. She became one of my favorite people, both out inside the ring and out. And then like Taylor Wilde, we trained together too. So we could just work each other in our sleep. It was so easy.
Brilliant.
I know that's like 3 people, but I can't pick.
No, that's okay. To be fair, that's the only kind of multiple choice one you've had. So I think you're doing pretty well. High flyers or storytellers?
Storytellers.
All day long, absolutely. And the last one, becoming Women of Honor World Champion or taking part in Quiz with Liz?
Or what was the last part?
Or taking part in Quiz with Liz.
Oh, can I say both?
Yeah, you can say both of them. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
No, Angelina, I have to just quickly mention, right, when WrestleCon happens and we're all there, the amount of people queuing up to meet you in Velvet Sky is crazy. Like, there should be no other wrestlers allowed. It should just be Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. Now, I always watch Bubba. Bubba's always watching. He's always keeping an eye on the Europeans. But it must be awesome to have such a big following from Europe.
Velvet and I talk about this all the time, and we make a point to say it on our podcast. Like, we feel so blessed and so fortunate because we, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just from what we've seen. We feel like we're the only 2 females who have had a gimmick that have lasted so long, even when we're not on TV together. You know what I mean? Like, she could be in TNA and I could be not there. And then I could be in Ring of Honor and she could be in NWA, but we still get booked together all the time, like as the beautiful people. So we haven't seen anything like that before, like in our 20 years in the business, where 2 females who were a team 12 years ago are still getting booked together, and it's still a thing. And we still, like, every day our social media, like our Twitters are flooded with people showing us old beautiful people clips, or they're talking about the podcast, or it's like beautiful people, and it just never ceases to like amaze us that people are still so invested in it. And that just makes us so proud. Like, we really did the damn thing, and it didn't have to be in WWE like everybody thinks it does. You know, like we were able to make history and become household names without the machine behind us. And we're so proud of that. Like, that's something that nobody can ever take from us. And it seems to have resonated so well with our fans all across the world. Like, we just, sometimes there's just no words, like, to say how cool that is, or like how much we just can't truly comprehend, like, when we see it. 'Cause I'm just Lauren and she's just Jamie. I'm a mom, like, I don't know, like, it's to be able to just know that we don't think about that all the time. But then, like, if we do an Instagram live and it's like, oh, big fan here from Paraguay or something, I'm just like, what? How do you know who I am? Like, it's really cool. So, and the UK, like, we love going to the UK. The shows are always awesome. The fans are always awesome. And it's just like, it's nice to be able to get out of the box of, like, the United States and go to other countries and just see, because we don't really know it or feel it until we experience it, right? And it's like, it's so amazing.
Like
it's so incredible.
Just speak. I know we mentioned the machine being, I suppose WWE. Like like, you know what I mean? We've seen you and Velvet, and like you personally, shine for so many years, and lead the female wrestling industry by a mile. But did they ever throw massive money actually to come overboard? Surely there was something there where they tried everything to get you over to.
Well, I worked for WWE for 2 years before.
Yeah, after that, did they come at you again?
No, because I think by that point, so I was in developmental from 2005 to 2007. They had multiple times to use me and they just didn't. So like when I got released, it was like, Creative has nothing for you. And I was like, bullshit, this is a Thursday. I was supposed to go to TV on Tuesday, the following Tuesday. So I'm like, I was supposed to go to TV in 4 days. Like, how does Creative have nothing for me? Like, whatever. But like 4 to 5 months later, I was in TNA. And I think once we started doing, because we were also under multiple year deals in TNA. So in WWE, like it kind of has this thing where it's like, damn, like we really like missed the boat with this thing, but you know what? That's a great gimmick, and we can just take that gimmick and give it to our own people.
Yeah.
We'll make it seem like it was our idea, and ours is better. And I mean, I think we know a couple times that happened.
Yeah.
So that was kind of. We feel like that was WWE's way of being like, shit. Like, we know, we can see that, you guys work, so we're just going to have to take exactly what you do and just give it to like our own people and see if it flies.
Yeah. Like, I'm shocked because, as you say, look, I know you started out there and there was years spent there, but it was just, given the fact of the name you made, with TNA Impact, like, I'm surprised they didn't throw millions. I know there's contracts there and stuff, but they didn't throw millions to get you over there. Like, it's the biggest catastrophe in all time, I think. Not saying
that. Well, you know what? And we, like, once again, we are very happy to be able to stay. Like, did I want to have my WrestleMania moment? Like, of course. But, I was so devastated when I got released. But then it took me many, many years later, and like the success that we had in TNA to realize, like, had they kept me under contract there, Beautiful People would have never happened. Had Velvet ever been hired there, like from the Diva Search or whatever, the Beautiful People would have never happened. It had to be me and her. And it had to be at the time that we did it, because everything about wrestling is being the right person at the right time at the right place, right? WWE was not the right place. And had they offered us contracts, like Vince was so open, and he just always just gave us the ball and let us run with it. And I think that's why everything came across as so believable and authentic with us, because he just let us be us and play us amped up to 100, Had we gone to WWE, we probably would have been really controlled, really micromanaged, possibly really suppressed, and possibly really shit on, because, that would be such a WWE thing to do, is take somebody who's doing really well in a place like TNA, offer them a shit ton of money to go put them on WWE TV to completely bury them.
Yeah.
So we're actually glad that it never went that way for us. We kind of had our WWE time before we actually hit our success, and we did all of that without WWE. And so many people think that's not possible, but I think we're like living proof of that.
Oh, you are 100%. I'm living proof via WrestleCon and Madison Square Garden and anywhere. Listen, we really appreciate taking the time to speak to us. We hope you're back in Europe next year. We know restrictions are really bad, but
that would be awesome.
Yeah, hopefully.
I know. That would be so fun.
It'd be awesome. Ireland, you have been to Ireland, haven't you? You've been to Dublin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
A couple of shows.
Yeah, I'm actually Irish.
Yeah.
I am Irish, Norwegian, French, and Welsh.
I love it. 80% Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom's side of the family is like the Irish Norwegian, and then my dad was actually born in Wales. He was born in Rill. Yeah. So that's our Welsh side. So yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, I mean, like, everybody misses traveling, And I honestly, like, even if we could go over there, and I don't think I'd want to, because it would be like the testing and the quarantining and the diapers and all the things. And I'm like, until it's like we can just be free, I just don't even want to deal with it. But once again, we're just so appreciative for you guys, and your constant decades and decades long love and support means everything.
Well, it means the work to us as well. We'll check in with you in a couple of months. Best of luck with all the crowds returning.
Thank you guys so much. Very nice to meet you.
You're a star. Don't ever change. You rock. Don't ever change.
I couldn't.
Thanks a million, Angelina.
Thanks, guys. Bye.